Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
I have to live the rest of my life knowing that I wasn't there for my baby. She must have been terrified. She must have been terrified for her children downstairs.
On October 9th, 2023, in Warrensville Heights, Ohio, a man called 911 just before midnight and told the dispatcher he had just killed his fiancé.
I grabbed her gun from under the mattresses, and she just, she was trying to come out.
Police arrived at 19700 Sunset Drive and found 46-year-old Amanda Williams on the floor of her own bedroom, shot 8 times. The man who made that call was detained, questioned, and released. He walked out. No charges. Terrell Edwards told investigators it was self-defense. But the medical examiner's report told a different story. One of those bullets hit Amanda Williams in the back. Another struck her with enough force to paralyze her from the neck down. Then there was a video. The prosecution played it in slow motion, so the jury would not miss a single second. Yes, Amanda Williams was holding a knife. And yes, she moved closer. But she never touched him. Never swung. Never lunged. All Terrell Edwards said was, chill out, chill out. No warning. No, I have a gun. No, I will shoot. Just chill out. And then 6 shots. That video existed the night Warrensville Heights police detained Terrell Edwards and let him go. The question this case forced Ohio to answer was not whether Amanda Williams had a knife. It was whether 6 bullets into a woman who never swung it was self-defense. Or something else entirely. You're watching True Crime Dark Diaries, where the spotlight of social media casts the darkest shadows. From TikTok phenoms and Instagram couples to Facebook influencers, we peel back the filters to reveal the crimes behind the fame. When the chase for followers turns deadly, we follow the trail to uncover the truth. These aren't just viral clips, they're stories of obsession, betrayal, and lives cut short. Subscribe if you want the unfiltered truth behind the trending hashtags, because by the time a story explodes online, the tragedy has already happened. Now let's dive in. Amanda Williams was born on April 18, 1977, in Cleveland, Ohio. She grew up in a city that builds people the hard way, through work, faith, and community. Amanda absorbed all 3. From an early age, she gravitated toward hair. Not as a hobby, as a craft. She studied it, trained in it, and eventually turned it into a business that carried her name and her reputation across the entire Cleveland area. In the Cleveland beauty community, she operated under 2 names, Amanda Williams and Amanda the Stylist. Both meant the same thing, quality and professionalism you could count on. She owned and operated a La Mode Styles. The salon was located in University Heights, a suburb just outside Cleveland, and it had been featured in multiple hair shows and magazines across the region. A La Mode Styles offered competitive hours and provided services off-site for weddings and special events. The work itself spanned the full range of professional hair services: sew-ins, weaves, natural hair styling, protective styles, and full hair extension installs. Amanda stocked premium quality hair bundles and had built her craft over many years of hands-on experience. Her clients did not just walk in for a service. They planned their most important days, their weddings, their milestones, their transformations, around her schedule. That is what kind of stylist she was. This is Amanda, in her own words.
Okay, as you guys probably know, I sell premium quality bundle hair. It's called Charme Diamond. So Charme Diamond hair extensions, I'm going to show you a few of the textures that I carry that's in stock. So of course we have the straight. This is a Brazilian straight bundle hair. Great quality. You can use it for prontos, sew-ins, ponytails, whatever. Then I have the body wave curl texture. This is my #1 seller here. I use this for a lot of my installs. You can straighten it out or you can curl it and it gives you great body curls. Then we're going to move on to the loose curl. So this gives you the maximum volume. So I do sew-ins with this their curls is popping, okay? This is the loose curl. Then I have the summer hair. This is the Italian curl. This is our summer vacation hair. You wet this, you can put leave-in conditioner and spray it. Amazing Italian curl. Then I have my second bestseller. This is loose body wave. It's cold outside, it's dry outside. We need to put the moisture back into our hair, ladies. With that being said, we have our hair scalp souffle. All natural ingredients, all good for your hair. It helps it grow, it smells good, it keeps the moisture locked in, it gives it a great shine. For me, I have feeders, a nice little cute and convenient hairstyle right now, but my scalp gets a little bit dry, so what do? You can apply the hair and scalp souffle to your braids on your scalp. It brings the braids back to life. It puts the moisture back into your hair. It takes the white dandruff away, and it gets you all the way together. So pick our hair and scalp souffle up.
Amanda was actively growing a Lamode Styles, not just as a salon, but as a place where other professionals could build their own careers. She put out a call, on camera, looking for a professional braider to join her team. Not a trainee, not someone starting from zero. A skilled braider ready to walk into an established salon with a real clientele, a real income, and a real opportunity to grow.
Hello everybody, it's me, Amanda the stylist. Just wanted to come on here and say that Alamo Styles is looking for a braider to join our team. I have one booth available. If you are interested, or if you know someone that is interested in joining a salon setting, ready to expand your wings and get a booming clientele, or if you're that braider who has a clientele and looking for a new salon home, we have great parking, plenty of great vibes. We have 7-day-a-week access if you need us to braid on Sunday and Monday. That can be done at Alamo Styles. So if you're interested, let me know. Hit me up. We would love to have you a part of the team.
That video is a woman who understood that success is not just about what you build for yourself. She was creating a workplace. She was giving another professional in Cleveland a chair, a platform, and a paycheck. A Lamode Styles was becoming bigger than one person, and Amanda was the one driving that growth deliberately and intentionally. She was not just a stylist. She was an employer, a business owner who was actively investing in her community by putting people to work. Outside the salon, Amanda's life was equally full. She was a card-carrying member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, one of the most respected historically Black sororities in the United States, built on the pillars of scholarship, sisterhood, and public service. Her membership was active, not ceremonial. Those women were in her corner every week. She attended the Word Church in Warrensville Heights, led by senior pastor Dr. R.A. Vernon, one of the most prominent Black congregations in the Cleveland area. Her faith community knew her by name, knew her family, and knew her story. At home on Sunset Drive in Warrensville Heights, Amanda was a mother and a grandmother. Her daughter Tyler, 29 years old, lived in the house with her own young child. 3 generations under one roof. Amanda owned that home. She earned it, paid for it, and built the life inside it from the ground up. Everything she had, she built herself. Then there was Terrell Edwards. The two began dating in 2017. By 2019, Edwards had moved into Amanda's home. Her home, not theirs. Her name was on the deed. Her business paid the bills. She was the one holding the household together while running a full-time salon, managing a brand, and keeping a family under one roof. He was on her phone plan. That detail matters, because the argument that would consume the entire final day of Amanda Williams' life started over a text message she did not reply to, and a phone line she controlled. By 2022, Edwards had proposed. They were engaged. From the outside, this looked like a relationship moving toward something. They were reportedly attending premarital counseling. A wedding was being planned, but the people closest to Amanda were seeing something else entirely. Personal problems had been building inside that house for months. Cheating had entered the relationship and was pulling it apart from the inside. The arguments were becoming more frequent and more intense. And behind all of it was a documented pattern that went beyond arguments. Photographs existed. Photographs of physical injuries sustained by Amanda during the relationship. And text messages, written by Terrell Edwards himself, that included the words, "I'm sorry I kicked you in the face." That was not a one-time admission. That was evidence of a man who had physically harmed the woman he lived with, apologized in writing, and stayed in her house. Friends and family watched this unfold. They described years of abuse and control operating quietly beneath the surface of a relationship that looked, from the outside, like an engagement. Amanda Williams was not a woman without resources. She had a business. She had a church. She had sorority sisters. She had a daughter down the hall. She had every form of community support a person could have around them. What she also had was a man inside her home who had already shown, in his own words, exactly what he was capable of. On October 9th, 2023, Amanda returned home from a work trip to Columbus, Ohio. She walked through the front door of the house she owned, and into the last argument of her life. On October 9th, 2023, an argument that had been running since morning reached its end inside a bedroom on Sunset Drive in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. The dispute had started over a text message Terrell Edwards sent to his fiancée, Amanda Williams, that she had not responded to. It escalated when Edwards discovered that Williams had suspended his cell phone service, a line registered in her name, at the house she owned. The argument continued through the day. When Williams returned home that evening, it resumed. Her daughter Tyler, 29, was in the house with her own young child. She could hear the two of them through the bedroom wall. At some point during the confrontation, Edwards began recording on his phone. The footage captured audio of the argument as it developed. According to Edwards' own account to investigators, Williams picked up a knife during the recording and struck the phone screen with it. Edwards then retrieved a firearm from underneath the mattress. The weapon belonged to Williams. He fired without issuing a verbal warning, without disclosing that he had the gun, and without instructing Williams to move away. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner later documented 8 gunshot wounds on Williams' body. At least one of the wounds was to her back. At 11:40 p.m., Edwards called 911. He reported that he had killed his fiancée. When officers from the Warrensville Heights Police Department arrived at 19700 Sunset Drive, they found Williams unresponsive on the bedroom floor. Emergency medical personnel transported her to Cleveland Clinic South Point Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Terrell Edwards called 911 himself. He told the dispatcher he had just killed his fiancée. He was at the scene when officers arrived. He did not run. He did not hide. He sat in the back of a police cruiser and talked, unprompted, to an officer through the window. And then he told detectives one thing. Self-defense. He claimed Amanda pulled a knife. He claimed the gun was hers, kept underneath the mattress. He claimed he had no choice. Warrensville Heights police detained him, questioned him, and handed the case to the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office. The prosecutor's office reviewed what they had and determined there was insufficient evidence to charge him. Terrell Edwards walked out. Here is what was already in existence when that decision was made. Photographs, not from that night but from before it, showing injuries on Amanda Williams' body. Text messages from Terrell Edwards to Amanda that read word for word, "I'm sorry I kicked you in the face." A documented pattern. A paper trail. Evidence that this was not one argument on one night. None of it was enough. He was released. But there was one more thing the initial investigation had not yet fully processed. The video. The same video the prosecution would later play in slow motion in front of a jury was recorded the night Amanda Williams died. It existed. It was there. And Terrell Edwards still walked out of that police station a free man. When that news reached Amanda's family, her daughter Tyler, her mother Georgia, her sorority sisters, and her church, what came next was not grief. It was a decision. They were going to make noise.
Standing outside Warrensville Heights Police Department, there are family, friends, and even sorority sisters who all want one thing.
Justice for Amanda!
With weary hearts.
I have to live the rest of my life knowing that I wasn't there for my baby. I
Amanda Williams' mother and daughter, Tyler Williams, say they're not giving up in their fight for justice during a press conference Tuesday afternoon at the Word Church.
I just want justice for my mom. Something has to happen. We don't feel safe.
Terrell Edwards was a free man. No handcuffs, no charges, no court date. He had called 911 himself, told police he killed Amanda Williams, and walked out of the Warrensville Heights Police Department the same night. But something was quietly building outside those walls. Attorney Ian Friedman stood before cameras and stated plainly, the evidence that the police department had earlier was not the full picture. There were photographs, text messages, a documented history sitting inside a phone that investigators had not yet fully examined.
Attorney Ian Friedman, you have a comment? Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Ian Friedman, counsel for the Williams family. And all I can say to you, Ms. Williams, and to the rest of the family is no family should have to be standing on this stage, period. And to hear you say that you were not there as her mom, I beg to differ. You are here as her mom. And everybody here now is going to make sure that this is seen through. The evidence that the police department had earlier was not the full picture. And as Pastor Vernon said, we're now going to bring all of that evidence that the full picture is painted. And once seen, now there should be an investigation. And now the family will get what they deserve. And now Amanda will get what she deserves as the justice in this case. Thank you.
Pastor R.A. Vernon, sorority sisters, and members of Amanda's family physically walked into the Warrensville Heights Police Department and handed over what they had. Pictures and text messages, they said, painted a complete picture of what this relationship actually looked like. The Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office responded with a statement. They were reviewing additional evidence, and a grand jury presentation was likely. Likely. That word did not sit well with the people demanding answers.
Amanda Williams was killed more than 2 weeks ago after what started as a domestic violence call. Warrensville Heights police had her fiancé in custody, but he was released from jail after Warrensville Heights told News 5 in a statement that the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office determined there was insufficient evidence to charge him. Prosecutors also told us he had plans to claim self-defense, so we reached back out for an update. In a statement, they say their office received preliminary reports from police on Monday and are waiting for additional evidence. Once prosecutors believe the investigation is fully complete, they will determine how to proceed, which will likely include a presentation to the grand jury.
Let me be crystal clear that there's more to this case than you may know.
With this, Pastor R.A. Vernon, along with Williams' family, friends, and sorority sisters, went to Warrensville Heights Police Department today to present pictures and text messages of what they say is evidence in her case.
My deepest condolences for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
The life of my sister matters. And for that, we won't stop until we get justice for Amanda.
After standing outside for nearly an hour, family and friends left hopeful.
They are working on it.
That justice will be served.
They're listening to us and it's moving forward. We're happy about that.
Weeks passed. Then a grand jury convened. Terrell Edwards was indicted on 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of domestic violence. An arrest warrant was issued, and Terrell Edwards could not be found. For over 24 hours, a man indicted for murder was simply gone. He turned himself in the following morning at 7:30 a.m. No dramatic arrest. No police chase. He walked in. Pastor Vernon said the community pressure played a direct role. Made people take us serious, that the weight of that ministry could make real noise that justice wasn't served. The case was now heading to trial. The trial opened February 26, 2024, in Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, Judge Stephen E. Gall presiding. No live streaming was permitted inside that courtroom, but every seat was filled. Sorority sisters, church members, family, they showed up every single day. The prosecution built its case witness by witness. Responding officers took the stand. Body camera footage played. Then Tyler Williams, Amanda's daughter, sat in that witness chair and told the court what she heard from the next room the night her mother was killed.
This man never had any remorse for my mom at all. He didn't try to get her up. He didn't try to make sure she was okay. He didn't have no remorse or nothing, and I don't either. I don't think that he should have any time. He should be in jail forever, for life. And this is my beautiful, kind-hearted mother that he just took a beautiful spirit away. She can't even finish her life.
Thank you.
Then came the medical examiner. Dr. Elizabeth Mooney confirmed 8 gunshot wounds from 6 bullets, because 1 bullet can travel through and create more than 1 wound. The fatal wounds were to Amanda's neck and her back. 1 wound alone would have rendered her completely paralyzed from the neck down, meaning she could no longer hold a knife.
So, Christy, the first person to take the stand today was Cuyahoga County Deputy Medical Examiner Dr. Elizabeth Mooney. She told the courtroom that the cause of Amanda Williams' death was gunshot wounds, and the manner of her death was homicide. She found 8 gunshot wounds on Williams' body. The prosecution asked her if the 6 gunshots fired by Edwards could create the 8 gunshot wounds, and she said yes, because 1 bullet could create multiple wounds. Dr. Mooney says one of the bullets completely separated 2 of the vertebrae in Williams's upper spinal column, which most certainly paralyzed Williams's upper and lower body and possibly could have been fatal. But she explained that there was no way that Williams could have survived the bullet that went through her heart.
This wound, and this is letter F there, was this wound fatal by itself?
Yes.
And why is that?
Injuring the heart and aorta, those will cause bleeding very, very quickly. Not much chance to repair that.
Then the prosecution played the cell phone video. The one Edwards recorded himself. The jury watched it in slow motion. Amanda was holding a knife. She moved closer, but she never swung, never lunged, never made contact. Edwards and his attorneys claimed she attacked him first, that he grabbed the gun she kept under the mattress and fired in self-defense. But the prosecution had 3 questions the defense never answered. Why did Edwards never ask her to put the knife down? Why did he never tell her he had a gun? Why did he never warn her before firing? All he said was, "Chill out." Then he fired 6 shots. And when it was over, he kept Tyler from reaching her mother. Amanda Williams bled out on the floor of her own bedroom while her daughter stood feet away. Edwards took the stand and told the jury he had no choice. But the medical examiner already told that jury what the body said. She was shot in the back. That detail alone dismantled everything.
Terrell Edwards took the stand arguing self-defense.
I just shot rapidly. I was scared. She had me so scared with that knife.
Edwards says he and Amanda had a pretty good relationship before October 9th last year. That's when an argument over phone texts boiled over.
And she's coming out of my closet with a whole bunch of clothes, and she's throwing them all over the floor, telling me to get out.
Edwards says he intended to leave, but Amanda grabbed a kitchen knife and held him in their room. Prosecutors didn't buy it.
You just said you were de-escalating by telling her to chill out. Why didn't you de-escalate further by saying, "I've got your gun, please stop"?
Like I said, I didn't want to shoot her.
Edwards says he got a hold of Amanda's gun as he was trying to get away from her and testified he had only 2 choices: get stabbed or shoot.
I'm trying to run to get away, and that's when she cut me off and she lunged at me with the knife. I had no other choice.
She never knew you had her gun, did she?
I don't believe so, no.
Edwards shot Amanda 6 times and then called 911. Amanda's daughter Tyler heard and ran upstairs.
Why not let Tyler go to her mother and try to help her?
Didn't want Tyler to be traumatized.
Really?
I didn't. She kept trying to get over there. I didn't want her to see her mom like that.
So it was for you
The
to
jury
decide.
came back March 4th, 2024. Guilty. 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, 1 count of domestic violence. Sentencing came 1 week later. Joey Lewis, Amanda's brother, stood before the court and said, "He's a wolf in sheep's clothing." Her son Tristan Bentley, 21, enrolled in the U.S. Air Force Academy, had a statement read on his behalf. His mother helped him get there. She will not see him graduate. Tyler told the court that Amanda's granddaughter will grow up never knowing her grandmother. Terrell Edwards said nothing. Judge Gall sentenced him to life, parole eligible after 24 years. Edwards appealed. The 8th District Court of Appeals reviewed the case and unanimously affirmed the conviction. Every single judge agreed. The self-defense claim that walked him out of a police station in October 2023 was rejected, first by a jury, then by an entire appellate court.
And an emotional day in court as a judge handed down a life sentence to Terrell Edwards. He's the Warrensville Heights man accused of, or convicted, I should say, of murdering his fiancée Amanda Williams in their bedroom last October. Our Kai Tuakei was in the courtroom as Williams' heartbroken family reacted.
I just can't stomach the fact that I have to live the rest of my life without my mom. My daughter has to live the rest of her life without her grandma because a coward wanted to take her life. My mom did not deserve this at all.
Tyler, the daughter of Amanda Williams, broke in the courtroom Monday as she shared how her world was shattered when Terrell Edwards killed her mother. The judge sentencing Edwards to life in prison on convictions of murder, felonious assault, and domestic violence, saying he'd be eligible for parole after 24 years. Tyler was in the home last October when Edwards shot her mom 6 times during an argument.
Terrell Edwards is in prison. Amanda Williams was 46 years old. Here is what the case of Amanda Williams reveals. Beyond the bedroom on Sunset Drive, beyond the courtroom in Cuyahoga County, beyond Warrensville Heights, Ohio. In the United States, the presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation increases the risk of homicide for women by 500%. Not 50, not 100, 500%. Every 16 hours in America, a woman is killed with a firearm by an intimate male partner. That is not a statistic from a century ago. That is the reality of the country Amanda Williams lived in and died in. Black women are twice as likely to be killed by a spouse and 4 times more likely to be killed by a dating partner than white women. Amanda Williams was a black woman killed by the man she was engaged to, inside the home she owned. She fits that pattern exactly. Now here is where this case connects to something happening at the highest level of American law. At the exact same moment Edwards was standing trial in Cleveland. While Edwards was in that courtroom in February 2024, the United States Supreme Court was deciding United States versus Rahimi, a case that asked one direct question. Can the government legally take a gun away from a person who has a domestic violence restraining order against them? On June 21, 2024, the Supreme Court ruled 8-1 that yes, a person found by a court to pose a credible threat to the physical safety of another can be temporarily disarmed, consistent with the Second Amendment. The ruling came 3 months after Amanda Williams was already dead. The gun that killed her was kept under her own mattress. There was no restraining order. There was no court intervention. There was documented abuse, photos, text messages, a pattern, and none of it removed the weapon from that house. Melissa Graves, Chief Executive Officer at the Journey Center for Safety and Healing, put it plainly. The deadly combination of guns and domestic violence is not an isolated tragedy. It is a system failure. Amanda Williams did not fall through the cracks. She was left there. Amanda Williams was the kind of woman a room noticed before she said a word. She was a mother, a grandmother, a stylist, a sorority sister, a church member, not by title, but by action. Every single day. She built her life with her own hands and shared it without being asked. Her daughter will raise a child who will never meet her. Her church will leave a seat no one else can fill. Her sorority sisters still speak her name like she is still in the room. Because to them, she is. That was Amanda Williams. And that concludes today's case. But remember, this is just one of countless hidden stories waiting to be brought to light. Here at True Crime Dark Diaries, we're committed to digging beneath the surface, giving a voice to those who can no longer speak, and making sure their stories are never lost to time. If today's investigation gave you new perspective, just wait. There are more cases coming that will shock, disturb, and challenge the way you see the world. So don't forget to subscribe, tap the like button, and turn on notifications so you're always first to know when a new story drops. We release fresh investigations regularly, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Before you go, share your thoughts in the comments. Which part of this case resonated with you most? Your voice helps keep these stories alive. Until next time, stay alert, stay safe, and remember, the search for justice always begins with the truth. True Crime Dark Diaries, where every case finds its voice.